AI is powerful, but it's also the new weapon of scammers. Just last month, a successful entrepreneur I know received what appeared to be a video call from one of his biggest clients. The CEO was on screen, clear as day, discussing an urgent $50,000 project that needed immediate attention. The voice was perfect. The mannerisms were spot on. Even the background looked exactly like the client's office. There was just one problem. It wasn't real. None of it was real. The CEO was a deepfake. The urgent project was fabricated. And the $50,000 wire transfer that my friend almost authorized? That money would have disappeared forever into the hands of scammers, who had weaponized artificial intelligence to create the most convincing fraud he'd ever encountered. This isn't science fiction. This isn't some distant future scenario. This is happening right now, today. Two entrepreneurs just like you. And it's getting worse at an alarming rate. While we've all been celebrating AI's incredible potential to transform business, to automate processes, and to level the playing field for entrepreneurs, something sinister has been happening in the shadows. The same technology that can write your marketing copy, design your website, and analyze your data can also steal your identity, destroy your reputation, and drain your bank account. We're facing a new kind of digital arms race. On one side, AI is empowering legitimate entrepreneurs to build better businesses faster than ever before. On the other side, scammers and fraudsters are using these exact same tools to create deceptions so sophisticated that even the most tech-savvy business owners are falling victim. And here's what's truly terrifying. Most entrepreneurs have no idea how vulnerable they really are. Let me share some numbers that will keep you up at night. According to recent FBI reports, AI-powered financial fraud has increased by 3,000% in just the past 2 years. That's not a typo. 3,000%. Business email compromise scams, where criminals impersonate executives to authorize fraudulent transactions, now cost companies over $2.7 billion annually. And that was before deepfake technology became accessible to anyone with a laptop. But here's what the statistics don't capture. The complete destruction of trust and reputation that comes with being targeted by these sophisticated scams. When your clients receive what appears to be communications from you that you never sent, when your business partners see evidence of conversations that never happened, when your reputation gets destroyed by AI-generated content you had nothing to do with, the financial losses are just the beginning. I've been tracking this trend for months, speaking with dozens of entrepreneurs who have been targeted, and the pattern is always the same. First comes confusion. I never sent that email. Then comes panic. How did they get access to my account? Finally comes the devastating realization. They didn't need access. They just needed AI. Take Jennifer, a digital marketing consultant who built a thriving agency over 5 years. One morning, she woke up to find that 17 of her clients had received invoices that appeared to come from her, complete with her logo, her email signature, and her usual professional tone. The invoices requested immediate payment for rush services that had never been provided. The AI-generated emails were so convincing that 3 clients actually paid before Jennifer even knew what was happening. But the real damage wasn't the money. It was the trust. Clients started questioning every communication from her team. Projects got delayed while people verified that requests were legitimate. Her reputation for reliability and professionalism, built over years of excellent service, was shattered in a single day. Or consider Marcus, an e-commerce entrepreneur who discovered that someone had created an AI-generated version of his voice and was making sales calls to potential customers. It's promising deals and guarantees that his company couldn't deliver. By the time he found out, dozens of disappointed customers had left negative reviews, and his business's rating had plummeted. These aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of a larger problem that's growing exponentially. Scammers have discovered that AI allows them to scale deception in ways that were never possible before. It can create thousands of personalized, convincing communications simultaneously. It can impersonate anyone, anywhere, at any time. And the worst part? Most entrepreneurs are completely unprepared for this reality. To protect yourself, you need to understand exactly how these scams work. The sophistication level has evolved far beyond the obvious spam emails and fake websites that we learned to recognize years ago. Modern AI scammers operate like intelligence agencies. They research their targets extensively, gathering information from social media profiles, business websites, public records, and even previous data breaches. They use this information to train AI systems that can mimic writing styles, speech patterns, and even decision-making processes with frightening accuracy. The first wave of AI scams focused on text-based deception. Scammers would use language models to create emails, messages, and documents that perfectly matched their target's communication style. They could analyze years of your business correspondence and then generate new messages that would fool your closest colleagues. But text was just the beginning. The second wave introduced voice cloning technology. With just a few minutes of audio, easily obtained from a business podcast, a webinar recording, or even a voicemail message, scammers can create AI models that replicate your voice with startling precision. They're not just changing their accent or pitch. They're creating digital twins of your vocal patterns. The third wave, which we're experiencing now, combines deepfake video technology with everything that came before. Scammers can create convincing video calls where you appear to be saying things you never said, making commitments you never made, and authorizing transactions you never approved. But here's what makes these scams so dangerous for entrepreneurs specifically. They're not targeting random victims. They're targeting business relationships built on trust and established communication patterns. When a scammer impersonates a CEO asking their CFO to wire money for an urgent acquisition, they're exploiting organizational hierarchies and decision-making processes. When they create fake video calls between business partners discussing new investments, they're weaponizing existing relationships and communication channels. The traditional advice of be skeptical of strangers doesn't work when the scammer appears to be someone you know and trust. Using communication methods and channels that seem completely legitimate, one of the most pervasive and damaging AI scams specifically targets aspiring entrepreneurs. The fake guru ecosystem. And AI has made these scams more convincing and more profitable than ever before. Here's how it works. Scammers use AI to analyze successful entrepreneurs' content, communication styles, and marketing strategies. They then create entirely fictional business experts with AI-generated photos, AI-written testimonials, and AI-crafted success stories that seem incredibly believable. These fake gurus launch courses, coaching programs, and mastermind groups promising to teach AI secrets that will generate massive income with minimal effort. Their sales pages feature testimonials from generated customers and case studies of AI-fabricated success stories. But here's what makes these scams particularly insidious. They often include real, valuable information about AI tools and techniques. The fake gurus research legitimate AI applications and repackage that information with their own fictional success stories and exaggerated claims. I recently investigated one such operation that had generated over $2.3 million in revenue, selling an AI business blueprint course. The course materials included genuinely useful information about AI tools, but they were wrapped in completely fabricated case studies and testimonials. The guru himself was an AI-generated persona with a synthetic face, fictional background, and manufactured social proof. Hundreds of entrepreneurs purchased this course believing they were learning from someone who had successfully built multiple AI-powered businesses. In reality, they were learning from scammers, who had simply repurposed publicly available information and wrapped it in convincing lies. The damage extends far beyond the money lost on fraudulent courses. Entrepreneurs who follow advice from fake gurus often implement strategies that are unethical, unsustainable, or outright harmful to their businesses and customers. They waste months pursuing opportunities that don't exist, using techniques that don't work, and building businesses on foundations of deception. Even worse, some of these fake guru operations specifically teach their customers how to create their own AI-powered scams. So they're not just stealing money. They're multiplying the problem by creating new generations of scammers armed with AI tools. The fake guru epidemic has become so widespread that it's becoming difficult to distinguish between legitimate AI educators and sophisticated scammers. The traditional markers of credibility, professional websites, social media followings, customer testimonials, can now be manufactured entirely through AI. Email has always been a vector for fraud, but AI has transformed business email into a minefield of deception. The days when you could spot phishing attempts by their poor grammar and obvious red flags are over. Modern AI-powered email scams are sophisticated social engineering, attacks that can fool even the most security-conscious entrepreneurs. These aren't mass-produced spam messages. They're highly targeted, personally researched, and individually crafted communications designed to exploit specific business relationships and processes. Let me walk you through a real example that happened to a client of mine just 3 months ago. Sarah runs a successful digital agency with 12 employees. She received an email that appeared to come from her biggest client's finance director, requesting immediate payment for an urgent contractor payment that needed to be processed before the end of the quarter. The email was perfect. It used the finance director's actual email signature, referenced specific project details that were accurate, and even included the casual, slightly frantic tone that this person typically used when dealing with deadline pressure. The amount requested, $18,500. It's within the range of normal transactions between the companies. Sarah was about to authorize the payment when something made her pause. Not anything obvious about the email itself, but a subtle feeling that something wasn't quite right. She decided to call the client directly to confirm the request. It turned out that the finance director was on vacation in a location with limited internet access and hadn't sent any emails that week. The request was completely fabricated. But here's the frightening part. The scammer had accurate information about ongoing projects, typical transaction amounts, and even internal company processes. How did they get this information? Through a combination of data breaches, social media research, and AI analysis of previously intercepted communications. They had built a comprehensive profile of the business relationship and used AI to craft a communication that was indistinguishable from legitimate correspondence. This type of attack is becoming increasingly common, and it's specifically targeting entrepreneurs and small business owners who often lack the security infrastructure and verification processes that larger corporations have implemented. The scammers are also getting smarter about timing. They often strike during busy periods around holidays, or during known transitions when normal communication patterns are disrupted. They research travel schedules, project deadlines, and industry events to identify the optimal moments, when their targets are most likely to approve requests without additional verification. Perhaps the most chilling development in AI-powered fraud is the emergence of complete digital identity theft. Scammers can now create comprehensive fake versions of real entrepreneurs, complete with social media profiles, business websites, and even video content. This isn't just about someone using your name or copying your bio. Advanced scammers are creating AI-powered digital twins that can interact with your customers, partners, and colleagues in ways that are virtually indistinguishable from your actual communications. Here's how sophisticated this has become. There's an entrepreneur named David who discovered that someone had created an AI version of him that was actively networking on LinkedIn, posting content to social media, and even conducting video calls with potential clients. The fake David had all the real David's professional history, spoke with his voice and mannerisms, and demonstrated knowledge of his business and industry that could only come from extensive research and AI analysis. The imposter was using this digital identity to sell consulting services and business partnerships that the real David knew nothing about. By the time the real David discovered what was happening, the fake version had already conducted dozens of business conversations, made commitments on his behalf, and collected payments for services that would never be delivered. The damage to his reputation was catastrophic, but the legal implications were even worse. Some of the agreements made by the AI imposter created contractual obligations that David had to address through expensive legal proceedings. Clients who had paid the fake David for services demanded refunds from the real David. Business partners who had made deals with the imposter expected the real David to honor those commitments. This type of comprehensive identity theft is particularly devastating for entrepreneurs because our personal reputations are often inseparable from our business success. When scammers damage your personal brand, they're not just affecting your current income, they're destroying your ability to build future business relationships and opportunities. The most terrifying aspect of AI identity theft is how difficult it is to detect and prove. When someone creates an AI version of you that behaves consistently with your known personality and business practices, how do you prove that you didn't actually send those emails or make those statements? Traditional identity theft could be resolved by changing passwords, updating credit monitoring, and working with financial institutions. But AI identity theft attacks your reputation in relationships in ways that can't be fixed with simple security measures. What makes AI-powered scams so effective isn't just their technical sophistication. It's how they exploit fundamental aspects of human psychology and business relationships. Traditional scams relied on greed, fear, or urgency to overcome rational decision-making. But AI scams are more subtle. They exploit trust, familiarity, and establish patterns of communication that our brains are wired to accept without question. When you receive an email that appears to come from someone you know, written in their typical style, referencing shared experiences and current projects, your brain doesn't engage the same skeptical filters that activate when you encounter obvious fraud attempts. This is called cognitive bias exploitation, and AI makes it incredibly effective.
Ow.
Scammers can analyze thousands of data points about your business relationships and use that information to craft communications that feel completely normal and legitimate. They know that entrepreneurs are busy, often overwhelmed, and accustomed to making quick decisions based on limited information. They exploit these realities by creating scenarios that seem urgent but not suspicious, important but not unusual. AI scammers also understand that successful entrepreneurs have developed pattern recognition systems that help them identify opportunities and threats. But they use this against us by creating patterns that mimic legitimate business communications, while hiding malicious intent beneath layers of authentic-seeming detail. The psychological impact of being targeted by sophisticated AI fraud extends beyond the immediate financial losses. Entrepreneurs who have been victimized often report feeling paranoid about digital communications, constantly questioning the authenticity of every email, call, or message they receive. This hypervigilance can be paralyzing for business operations that depend on efficient digital communication. When you can't trust any form of remote communication, every transaction requires additional verification steps that slow down operations and strain business relationships. While the direct financial losses from AI scams are significant, they often pale in comparison to the hidden costs that can destroy businesses over time. The first hidden cost is reputation damage. In our interconnected business world, your reputation travels faster than ever before. When clients, partners, or customers believe they've been deceived by you, even when you're actually the victim, that perception spreads quickly through professional networks and online review platforms. Rebuilding a damaged reputation can take years and cost far more than the original fraudulent transaction. Some entrepreneurs never fully recover from reputation damage caused by AI impersonators. The second hidden cost is the erosion of trust in digital business processes. Once entrepreneurs realize how sophisticated AI deception has become, many overcompensate by implementing verification procedures that significantly slow down their operations. I know business owners who now require phone confirmation for every email request, video calls for every significant decision, and in-person meetings for any financial transaction. While these measures provide security, they also eliminate many of the efficiency advantages that digital communication offers. The third hidden cost is opportunity loss. Entrepreneurs who have been targeted by AI scams often become so cautious about new opportunities, partnerships, and technologies that they miss legitimate chances for growth and innovation. When you can't trust digital communications, you limit your ability to build relationships with potential customers, partners, and collaborators who exist outside your immediate geographic area. This can severely constrain business growth potential. The fourth hidden cost is stress and mental health impact. Running a business is already stressful, but constantly worrying about whether communications are legitimate adds a layer of anxiety that can be overwhelming. Many entrepreneurs who have been targeted by AI scams report sleeping problems, decision paralysis, and a general sense of vulnerability that affects their ability to lead their businesses effectively. Now that you understand the scope and sophistication of AI-powered business scams, let's focus on practical strategies for protecting yourself and your business. The first line of defense is developing what I call digital skepticism, a healthy questioning attitude toward any unexpected communication, especially those involving financial transactions or sensitive information. This doesn't mean becoming paranoid about every email or call, but rather implementing simple verification protocols for anything that involves money, data, or significant business decisions. Here are the specific red flags to watch for in AI-generated communications. Urgency without clear justification. Legitimate business communications often have time constraints. But AI scammers rely heavily on artificial urgency to prevent their targets from implementing verification procedures. Be especially skeptical of requests that must be handled immediately or before the end of the day without clear business reasons for the deadline. Perfect communications from imperfect communicators. If someone who typically sends brief, casual emails suddenly sends a perfectly formatted, grammatically flawless message, that inconsistency could indicate AI generation. Unusual communication channels. Be suspicious when someone who normally calls you suddenly sends important requests via email, or when someone who typically uses email tries to conduct sensitive business through text messages or social media. Requests that deviate from established procedures. Every business relationship develops patterns and processes for handling routine transactions. AI scammers often don't understand these nuances and may request actions that bypass normal approval procedures. Generic or slightly off details. AI-generated communications sometimes include details that are technically accurate, but feel generic or slightly inappropriate for the specific context. Trust your instincts when something feels off, even if you can't identify exactly what's wrong. Inconsistencies across multiple communications. AI systems can be remarkably consistent within individual messages, but may show inconsistencies across multiple interactions. Pay attention to changes in writing style, technical knowledge, or personal details across different conversations. Protection from AI-powered scams requires more than just recognizing red flags. It requires building systematic defenses into your business operations. The foundation of AI-proof business practices is verification redundancy. Never rely on a single communication channel for important decisions. If you receive an email requesting financial authorization, confirm it with a phone call. If someone calls with an urgent request, follow up with written confirmation. Implement what cybersecurity experts call out-of-band verification. This means using completely different communication methods to confirm important requests. If someone emails you about a wire transfer, call them using a number from your existing contacts rather than any number provided in the suspicious communication. Create clear protocols for financial transactions that require multiple verification steps. These protocols should be communicated to all team members and business partners so everyone understands the normal procedures for handling money-related requests. Establish trust, but verify relationships with key business contacts. Work with your most important clients, suppliers, and partners to create authentication procedures that make it easy to verify that communications are legitimate. This might include code words, security questions, or specific procedures for handling urgent requests. While this may seem excessive, the most successful entrepreneurs are already implementing these types of safeguards. Document everything. Maintain detailed records of all business communications, especially those involving financial transactions or sensitive information. These records can be crucial for proving your innocence. If you become the target of an AI impersonation attack, educate your team about AI-powered threats. Many business owners focus on protecting themselves but forget that their employees and contractors can also be targeted. Make sure everyone who works with your business understands these threats and knows how to implement proper verification procedures. While AI is being weaponized by scammers, it's also being developed to detect and prevent AI-powered fraud. Understanding these protective technologies can help you make informed decisions about business security investments. AI detection software is rapidly improving at identifying deepfakes, voice clones, and AI-generated text. These tools analyze subtle patterns and inconsistencies that humans often miss, providing an additional layer of verification for suspicious communications. However, it's important to understand that this is an arms race. As detection technology improves, so does the sophistication of deception technology. The tools that can identify today's AI-generated content may not be effective against next year's more advanced systems. Email security platforms are integrating AI-powered analysis to identify suspicious communication patterns. These systems can detect when incoming emails deviate from normal patterns for specific senders, even when the content appears legitimate. Voice authentication technology is becoming more sophisticated at identifying cloned or synthesized speech. Some systems can detect AI-generated voices, even when they closely match the target's vocal patterns. Video authentication tools can identify deepfake video content by analyzing microexpressions, lighting inconsistencies, and other technical markers that current deepfake technology hasn't perfected. But here's the crucial point. Technology alone cannot protect you from AI-powered scams. The most sophisticated detection tools are only effective when combined with human judgment and systematic verification procedures. To properly protect your business, you need to understand how these threats are likely to evolve. The AI scams we're seeing today are primitive compared to what's coming in the next few years. Voice and video cloning technology is advancing rapidly in the next 2 years. Scammers will likely be able to create real-time deepfake video calls that are indistinguishable from legitimate communications. This means that even live video conversations may not be reliable for identity verification. AI systems are becoming better at understanding and replicating complex business contexts. Future AI scammers will be able to conduct extended business conversations, answer detailed questions about projects and relationships, and maintain consistent personas over weeks or months. The integration of AI with other emerging technologies poses new risks. Augmented reality and virtual reality platforms could be exploited to create immersive deception experiences. Internet of Things devices could be compromised to support more convincing impersonation attacks. Personalization capabilities are advancing exponentially. Future AI scams will be able to tailor their approaches not just to individual targets, but to specific moments, emotional states, and business circumstances. But understanding these future threats also reveals opportunities for protection. The businesses that start implementing robust verification procedures now will be far better positioned to handle the more sophisticated threats that are coming. One of the most effective long-term strategies for protecting your business is building a culture where verification is seen as professional prudence rather than paranoid behavior. This cultural shift starts with leadership. When business owners demonstrate that they implement verification procedures for their own communications, it normalizes these practices for everyone else in the organization. Make verification convenient rather than burdensome. If your security procedures are too complicated or time-consuming, people will find ways to bypass them. Design verification processes that add minimal friction to normal business operations while providing meaningful security benefits. Celebrate and reward people who identify suspicious communications or follow proper verification procedures. When team members know that security-conscious behavior is valued and recognized, they're more likely to maintain vigilance over time. Create clear consequences for bypassing verification procedures, but focus on education rather than punishment. When someone makes a security mistake, use it as a learning opportunity for the entire organization rather than an excuse for disciplinary action. Regularly update and test your verification procedures. Schedule periodic reviews to ensure that your security measures are still effective against current threats. Conduct simulated attacks to identify weaknesses in your defenses before real scammers exploit them. One of the biggest challenges facing modern entrepreneurs is balancing innovation with protection. The same technologies that enable incredible business opportunities also create new security vulnerabilities. This dilemma is particularly acute for entrepreneurs who want to leverage AI tools in their businesses. How do you embrace AI's potential while protecting yourself from AI-powered threats? The answer isn't to avoid AI technology entirely. That would put you at a significant competitive disadvantage. Instead, the solution is informed adoption combined with robust security practices. When evaluating AI tools for your business, research the company behind the technology. Understand their security practices. Implement additional safeguards for sensitive applications. When using AI for customer communications, be transparent about your use of AI assistants and maintain human oversight of all important interactions. When sharing information with AI systems, be conscious of what data you're providing and how it might be used if it were compromised or accessed by malicious actors. The entrepreneurs who will thrive in the AI era are those who can harness these powerful technologies while implementing smart protections against their misuse. Let me give you a specific action plan you can implement immediately to protect your business from AI-powered threats. First, conduct a communication audit. Review all the ways that important business information flows in and out of your organization. Identify the channels that would be most damaging if they were compromised, and prioritize those for enhanced security measures. Second, establish verification protocols for high-risk transactions. Create simple but effective procedures for confirming any request involving money, sensitive data, or significant business decisions. Document these procedures and make sure all team members understand them. Third, educate your network. Share information about AI-powered threats with your key business contacts, clients, and partners. Work together to establish mutual verification procedures that protect everyone involved. Fourth, implement technology solutions where appropriate. Research, AI detection tools, enhanced email security platforms, and other technologies that can provide additional layers of protection for your business. Fifth, create incident response procedures. Develop clear plans for what to do if you suspect you've been targeted by an AI-powered scam. Know who to contact, what information to preserve, and how to minimize damage while addressing the situation. Sixth, stay informed about evolving threats. Subscribe to cybersecurity updates, follow relevant industry publications, participate in professional networks that share information about emerging risks. While the emergence of AI-powered scams creates serious challenges for entrepreneurs, it also creates opportunities for those who are prepared to address them. Businesses that implement robust security practices and verification procedures will have competitive advantages over those that don't. Customers and partners will gravitate toward companies they perceive as trustworthy and secure. The demand for cybersecurity services, AI detection tools, and business verification solutions is growing rapidly. Entrepreneurs who understand these threats deeply may find opportunities to build businesses that help others protect themselves. Companies that successfully navigate the AI threat landscape will build stronger, more resilient operations. The security measures implemented to protect against AI scams often have broader benefits for business efficiency and risk management. The key is approaching these challenges proactively rather than reactively. The businesses that start preparing now will be far better positioned than those that wait until they become victims. We've covered a lot of ground, but I want you to understand the central message. The AI revolution is real. The opportunities are incredible, but the threats are equally serious. The entrepreneurs who will succeed in this new era are not those who avoid AI entirely, nor those who embrace it blindly. Success belongs to those who harness AI's power while implementing smart protections against its misuse. This isn't just about protecting your money, though financial losses can be devastating. It's about protecting your reputation, your relationships, and your ability to build sustainable business success in an increasingly digital world. The scammers are already using AI against you. The question is, what are you going to do about it? You can ignore these threats and hope they don't affect you. But that's a strategy built on wishful thinking rather than realistic assessment. You can become so paranoid about AI-powered scams that you avoid digital technologies entirely. But that's a strategy that will leave you behind, while competitors leverage these powerful tools. Or you can take the smart approach. Learn about the threats, implement practical protections, and continue building your business with confidence and informed caution. Trust tools, not hype. Protect your work. Those 8 words summarize everything you need to remember from this discussion. AI tools can transform your business in incredible ways. But you need to separate legitimate opportunities from sophisticated deceptions. The same healthy skepticism that protects you from traditional scams needs to be applied to AI-powered opportunities and communications. But that skepticism should be balanced with openness to genuine innovation and improvement. Here's what I want you to do right now, before you move on to other things, and let the urgency of this message fade. Choose one AI-powered threat we've discussed today and implement a specific protection against it this week. Maybe it's establishing verification procedures for financial requests. Maybe it's educating your team about deepfake risks. Maybe it's researching AI detection tools for your business communications. Don't try to solve everything at once, but don't do nothing either. Take one meaningful step toward protecting your business from AI-powered threats. The scammers are counting on entrepreneurs being unprepared, overwhelmed, and reactive rather than proactive. They profit from our ignorance, our complacency, and our assumption that these sophisticated threats won't target our businesses. But you're no longer ignorant about these risks. You understand how AI-powered scams work, how to recognize them, and how to protect against them. The question is whether you'll act on that knowledge. Your business is too important to leave vulnerable to these threats. Your reputation is too valuable to risk on unverified communications. Your future success depends on the security decisions you make today. The AI revolution offers incredible opportunities for entrepreneurs willing to embrace its potential. But those opportunities exist alongside serious threats that require informed preparation and systematic protection. You can have both, the benefits of AI-powered business tools and protection from AI-powered threats. But only if you approach this new landscape with wisdom, caution, and proactive security measures. The future belongs to entrepreneurs who understand that in the age of AI, trust must be earned and verified, not assumed and hoped for. The choice is yours. But choose quickly. The scammers aren't waiting.